Just when you think that he was safe, he's back on the hot seat. That's right. Matt Shaw is coming up in all different types of trade talk, folks. Why? Because the need is clear for the Chicago Cubs. Pitching, pitching, and more pitching. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, listen, guys, if you haven't noticed, I've started doing something. Weekdays and even weekends, I am posting shorts now where I give my immediate thoughts right after the game ends. And then I want to focus more on the episodes or moving forward, not looking back. So I won't really dive too much into the whole White Sox Cubs series. I might do something different once we get to postseason play, if we get to postseason play. But as far as everything else, make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys check out my shorts so that you don't miss any of the reactions and thoughts to the Chicago Cubs games, whether it be victories or whether it be losses, each day that they play. Now, with that being said, I do just want to do a quick. Chicago Cubs did drop 2 games to the Sox, but that gave us revelation and realization. What is that? The Chicago Cubs need pitching, y'all, and they need it in the worst way. Some say we need starting pitching. Some say we need relief pitching. I'm in the camp more so of relief pitching. I like what teams like what the progressive teams are doing. You got to look to the Northern Stars. You got to look to the teams that are progressively moving forward and the ones that are driving innovation within the league. Remember, the Cubs are still playing a little bit of catch up here with teams such as the Dodgers, teams such as the Yankees, teams such as, I'm not going to say the Mets, but, those teams that spend a lot, like they're just now beginning to spend. And I'm not saying they have to do things exactly the way that the Dodgers do it, but if you notice something about the Dodgers, while yes, they do have good starting pitching. They do. They have some guys that are outperforming their contracts right now, but then they also have guys that are known to do this. Like, this is what they do. This is how they play. This is how they get down. And so for me, I look at the Chicago Cubs and I say to myself, you guys are behind the curve. The Dodgers are the leading organization right now in all of Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani, I liken him to the LeBron James of the 2010s. I mean, whatever organization he's a part of is the leading organization and like I said, what he's done with the LA Dodgers, how he's gotten all of the Japanese players and Japanese influence to come play with him, which, by the way, Sox fans, if any Sox fans are watching this, y'all better enjoy Murakami these 2 years you got him, because you know the Dodgers are coming knocking for him. He will be a Dodger. And shoot, for what it's worth, Cub fans, we may not see Seiya Suzuki after this year, depending on what the Dodgers decide to offer him. Just saying. But that's neither here nor there right now. But what I'm looking at when I'm talking about is I'm talking about the fact that the Chicago Cubs have to look at their bullpen. And the Chicago Cubs bullpen, y'all, is absolute garbage right now. The absolute garbage. And the reason why Matt Shaw is going to be a topic is because of the fact that the Chicago Cubs have to add on, and the need is clear. Now, again, I posted this on X and I posted this on Facebook. Make sure you guys join the Facebook group too. I'm not one of those people that want to overreact, but there is a clear need here. You see a clear need for the Chicago Cubs and what they need to do to be better. And one of the things they need to do to be better is they have to get this pitching right. Another thing they need to do to get better is score with runners in scoring position. They can't leave all these guys on base. Like I said, as many guys in the game against the White Sox, both games really, but really Sunday's game, the Chicago Cubs should have far and away beat the White Sox, and they cashed in on half the runners left on base. I mean, they had bases loaded like 3 different times and basically walked away with nothing. Guys like Seiya Suzuki, guys like Nico Horner. I mean, literally, runners in scoring position, you turn it over to Nico. Early on in the year, Nico was killing that. That was his deal. Like, if you have runners in scoring position with 1 out or no outs, I'm gonna cash in and at least get 1 run in for you. But no, I mean, lately he's been struggling to even do that. The Chicago Cubs need stronger bullpen pitching. The thing that separates the Dodgers from everybody else is not the fact that Dave Roberts can send out Shohei Ohtani and Shohei Ohtani is going to pitch a complete game. They're not asking them to do that. They're not asking Blake Snell to do that. They can do it. They're not asking them to do that. Go out there, give us 4 or 5 innings. They hit you up bad, fine. It's okay. We have enough firepower where we literally can come back in any game. But at the same time, you look to their bullpen. You look to the bullpens, and it shortened the game. You shorten out the game. And I've spoken about this multiple times. That's the way that baseball is headed. You need to be able to shorten out games and literally, like I said, be able to have your starters maybe go 4 or 5 innings, but be able to hand it over to a bullpen, especially in the postseason, that can literally take you to a victory. Guys that are get outs, guys that can strike guys out. That's why I made the video. If you guys didn't watch it on Friday about Aroldis Chapman, because we need guys that can get strikeouts. And right now, the Chicago Cubs don't have that. So literally, I want to talk to you guys about the Chicago Cub bullpen numbers right now. So bullpen ERA, they are between 4 and 4.50. Their bullpen rank, they rank somewhere between 17th and 21st. Like I said, they only have a couple saves on the season. Again, you look at Daniel Palencia. He's somebody that's emerging as a late inning arm closer candidate. Hobie Milner has been a reliable lefty. Ben Brown has been effective multi-inning weapon for the team. Hunter Harvey is injured, but expected to be a major setup piece for the team. And then Ty Black is has recently been added for depth. But you got to look at the other pieces that are just not effective right now. You know, you got to look at those pieces and you say to yourself, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? What's going on with the Chicago Cubs? We have to get better and we have to add on. And because of that, guys like Matt Shaw, guys like Kevin Alcantara, those guys are the guys being looked at. Rojas is being looked at. Guys like that are Jonathan Long. Those guys are guys that are going to be looked at in our AAA system. And Matt Shaw, that like I said, that right now is a utility guy. He's somebody that's going to be looked at too. Because Chicago Cubs absolutely have to add on. But I like this thought too. If you do go add on another starter, let's just say pie in the sky, you go get somebody like Sandy Alcantara, who's been doing great right now, doing great work right now. Sandy Alcantara is somebody that is a perfect prime example of somebody the Cubs could trade for, because Sandy Alcantara still has another year option on his deal. You cannot trade Matt Shaw for a 1-year rental or half a season rental and hope that you win the postseason based off of that. You need to have somebody that you can get multiple years out of on their deal if you're going to make this trade. So whether that be a bullpen piece for multiple years or whether that be a starter piece for multiple years. But the Chicago Cubs need both when you really look at it. But in my eyes, if you had to pick or choose, I'm adding pieces to the bullpen because I feel like our bullpen right now is just so dang unreliable. The Chicago Cubs have to get better around the margins when it comes to their pitching. There's no other point about it. They're going to have to get better if they want to rival up against some of these other pieces that they're going to see. And it's important because, like I said, our starters have struggled and we need them to get better. We need everybody to get better around the margins. But listen, I don't want to look backwards. I want to look forward. The Chicago Cubs welcome in none other than the Milwaukee Brewers for a 4-game set. This will be the first time that the Cubs and Brewers will face each other since the Brewers put the Cubs out in the 2026 in the 2025 NLDS. So like I said, they are headed up, they're headed down to Wrigley. On the Brewers side, currently they are without Quinn Priester, Brandon Woodruff, Rob Zinstrisky, Jared Coing, Angel Zarper, and Brandon Lockridge, and Alki Babudu. The Cubs right now are without Matthew Boyd, Caleb Thielbar, Hunter Harvey, Justin Steele, Riley Martin, Jackson Wiggins, Cade Horton, Shelby Miller, and Porter Hodge. They're all out. So like I said, right now you're looking at, for the Brewers, the leaders on the Brewers right now offensively. Bryce Terang obviously is amazing. Bryce Terang is the only second baseman that I look at that I say can rival exactly what Nico does on a nightly basis, and then exceeds it defensively because of what he can do offensively. Nico has been struggling offensively for the Chicago Cubs and really hurting them over the last month when runners in scoring position, but hopefully he will get back to where he's going. As a team, the Brewers are hitting 244, 333, and 360 with the 693 OPS, which ranks 23rd with 30 homers, which ranks dead last in MLB, and 218 runs. Whew, thank God they're not going to see Jameson Tyone. Otherwise, they would definitely be a move out of last place with the home runs. The Cubs, Ian Happ leads the Cubs offense with 10 home runs this season. You also sprinkle in Seiya Suzuki, Dansby Swanson, Pete Crow Armstrong, Alex Bergman, and Michael Busch and Nico Horner, and they have a formidable middle of the lineup. So you also, I look for Moises Ballesteros to get back on track. I think that's another thing that's missing for the Chicago Cubs. But as a team, the Cubs are hitting 246, 343, 406, and a 749 OPS, which ranks fourth. They have 57 homers, tied for seventh in the league. They have 241 runs, fourth in the league, and 33 steals, which is 14th in the league. So, probable pitchers, y'all. Let's talk about it. First game, Monday night, 6:40 start time, is going to be Brandon Sproat, who is 1-2 with a 5.75 ERA, going up against Shota Imanaga, who is 4-3 with a 2.32 ERA. Sproat has made 8 appearances, 6 starts this season, spanning 36 innings with a 5.75 ERA and 36 strikeouts. He struggled primarily with walks and homers, which he's given up 8 of those, 20 walks on the season so far. And he's coming off his best game going up against the Padres, where he pitched 5 1/3 innings and allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. This marks his first career appearance against the Cubs. Meanwhile, for our boys in blue, Shota Imanaga is in his 3rd MLB season, all with the Cubs. This season, he has a 2.32 ERA, a 2.84 FIP, and 59 strikeouts over 54 1/3 innings pitched. He took the loss in his last appearance, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits and no walks, striking out 6 in the 4-1 loss to the Braves. But like I said, we'll see, because Shota Imanaga is trying to get his get back against the Brewers, because he's 1-3 with a 5.73 ERA and 18 strikeouts over 22 innings and 4 starts against Milwaukee. Then we go to Tuesday. It's going to be Jacob Misiorowski. This will be the game to circle. Jacob Misiorowski is the ace right now this season for the Brew Crew. And we will send up Ben Brown. Brown is 1-1 with the 1.60 ERA. Misiorowski is 3-2 with the 2.12 ERA. Strikeouts will be at a maximum if Misiorowski cannot find, if he can't find the strike zone. If he locates the strike zone, it's going to be a long night for Cubs hitters, and batting averages will drop. Meanwhile, likewise, Ben Brown is also in his 3rd season with the Cubs. He's functioned as a 6-starter type over the last couple of years, working as a swingman role, but making starts as needed. And he made 14 appearances this season with a 1.60 ERA, 2.44, and then 34 strikeouts over 33 2/3 innings. He's gone 4 scoreless innings as a starter in each of his last 2 appearances, striking out 10 and allowing just 2 walks and 1 hit in those outings. So like I said, he's made 3 starts against Milwaukee, and he has a 2-0 record against them. And then Wednesday, it will be Kyle Harrison, who is 4-1 with a 2.09 ERA, going up against Edward Cabrera, who is 3-1 with a 4.06 ERA. So Harrison is somebody that was coming out of the bullpen at first, but is making a breakout season as a starter for the Brewers with a 2.09 ERA. He's a lefty. He picked up another win in his last start, going 5 scoreless against the Padres. And he only allowed 5 hits and no walks, striking out 7 in a 7-1 victory. Cabrera is 28. He was acquired from the Marlins, as we know. And he's shown flashes of his potential, but hasn't quite been able to put it all together just yet. Through 9 starts this season, he has a 4.06 ERA, a 4.49 FIP, and 45 strikeouts over 51 innings. After a pair of scoreless outings to begin the season, he's allowed at least 3 earned runs in each of his last 7 starts, including 3 runs allowed against the White Sox in his last appearance. So Cabrera made 4 appearances against Milwaukee while with the Marlins, totaling 19 2/3 innings with a 2.29 ERA and 20 strikeouts, even though he just still went 1-4-2. So again, my prediction for this is that this is going to be a hell of a series, and you guys ought to make sure that you are tuned in to watch. The Chicago Cubs need to reset and refocus. The trade market is going to be watching, and the Chicago Cubs need to come out and they need to deliver in this series against the Brewers. Like I said, trade stock will go up for people like Matt Shaw if he starts to deliver once he gets a chance, but it's going to be tough with Michael Conforto getting all the spots out in the outfield, and then the need to have Dansby Swanson's glove and the need to have Nico Horner's glove for this pivotal series. Like I said, you might have to see Matt Shaw maybe do some DHing or some subbing in late in the games, or just subbing for Alex Bregman. But Alex Bregman is starting to heat. His bat is starting to heat up as well. So it might be a thing where Matt Shaw might not necessarily get the opportunities. But nevertheless, forget about what happened with the Crosstown Classic. Forget about the Braves series. Forget about all of that stuff. It's over. It's done with. That stuff is all done. All you can do is focus ahead. And focusing ahead means focusing on none other than the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's get ready for the series. Hopefully we take 2 out of 3 and we're able to sing Go Cubs Go again and get our 30th win of the season. I'll be back again with you guys tomorrow, dropping another episode. But until then, Go Cubs Go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.